Good day, everyone. Our group decided to choose the yogurt because it is one of the products that undergoes the result of microbiological process. Before we start to tackle how it was made or its preparation and uses, let us introduce briefly what it is.
Yogurt is a food produced by bacterial fermentation of milk. The bacteria used to make yogurt are known as yogurt cultures. Fermentation of sugars in the milk by these bacteria produces lactic acid, which acts on milk protein to give yogurt its texture and characteristic tart flavor. It contains characteristic bacterial culture Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. All yogurts must contain at least 8.25% non-fat solids. Full-fat yogurt shall contain not less than 3.25% milk fat. Low-fat yogurt not more than 2% milk fat, and low-fat yogurt not less than zero point 0.5 milk.
Now let us talk about the bacterial culture that has been used for the product. The main or the starter cultures in yogurt are Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. The function of the starter cultures is to ferment lactose, milk sugar, to produce lactic acid. The increase in lactic acid decreases the pH and causes the milk to clot or form the soft gel that is the characteristic of yogurt. The fermentation of lactose also produces the flavor compounds that are a characteristic of yogurt. Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus are the only two cultures required by law to be present in yogurt. Other bacterial cultures, including the culture of Lactobacillus acidophilus, Lactobacillus subspecies casei, and bifidobacteria, may be added to yogurt as probiotic cultures. Probiotic cultures benefit human health by improving lactose digestion, uh, gastrointestinal function, and stimulating the immune system.
Right, so in this part, we are gonna discuss in preparing our yogurt. So, the first process, no, the first step at least in the process is, of course, to gather our 1 liter of full cream homogenized milk. So, homogenized milk so that we can have a more fine texture sa outcome sa ato yogurt since homogenized milk has more fine particles. So, we mix this with a 40 gram of full cream milk powder. And then, after mixing, we pasteurize it at about 90 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes, of course, to sanitize it. Then let it cool to 40 degrees Celsius in preparation for inoculation. So, we are gonna then inoculate it with 0.01%. This is our starter culture, which is the Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. So these are the two positive bacteria that we are gonna use. So we stir it up, then incubate this kanang mixture for at least in 42 degrees Celsius for at least 8 hours, no? So maybe 8 to 12 hours, and let it cool. So at the end of this incubation, we are gonna test. We're gonna evaluate the pH level of the mixture. So the ideal outcome would be the pH level of like 4.4 to 4.6 pH level, around that. So it's acidic, no? So this is evidence that it has gone fermentation, and this is actually a type of fermentation in yogurt which is called acid fermentation. Mechanism involved in the production of yogurt, of course, fermentation, obviously, with the main starter cultures that we've already discussed. So the function of the starter cultures is to ferment lactose in the milk sugar to produce lactic acid. So in lactic acid fermentation, in fermentation in general, is this is actually the process by which NADH is regenerated back to NAD plus. So what happens is in our a glucose molecule, of course, is converted into pyruvate molecules through glycolysis, and this pyruvate molecules is used to produce lactate in the presence of lactate dehydrogenase. So yeah. So after all that, we're gonna add, of course, our fruits. So we add maybe strawberry. So after the addition of strawberry, you need to first prepare it. You need to rinse the strawberries with tap water to eliminate those bad microorganisms from the fruit, or you could um, try to sterilize it by maybe pouring semi-hot liquid. So chop the strawberries with a blender in addition of desirable sugar concentration. Then, of course, just to make sure, boil the mixture for 2 minutes at 90 degrees Celsius. And lastly, the hot filling of flavoring into a sterile glass jar to which we are gonna contain our product. So continued in order for it to last long to in a storage of yogurt at 4 degrees Celsius.
Now, let's talk about the importance of yogurt. So, yogurt can be high in protein, calcium, vitamins, or even the probiotics, which can enhance the gut microbiota. These kind of nutrients can offer protection for our bones and even for our teeth and help prevent digestive problems. Low fat yogurt can be useful as a source of protein on a weight loss diet, and the probiotics may also boost our immune system. On the other hand, the lactic acid bacteria in yogurt have important effects in preventing the cancer, infections, gastrointestinal diseases, and asthma. Regular consumption of daily and fresh yogurt increases its positive effects. According to research, there are several healthy benefits of eating yogurt, and that includes the high quality proteins that help us to build and repair muscles, the calcium that help us to build stronger bones and teeth, which I mentioned a while ago, the vitamins and minerals that are essential for body functioning, the conjugated linoleic acids that stimulates our immune system and also has the anti-carcinogenic properties, and lastly the live bacteria with lactase per gram of yogurt, which can improve the digestion of the lactose contained in the yogurt itself. So the question is yogurt healthy to drink? Drinkable yogurt in other forms also increase a feeling of a person's fullness and satiety, which can also lead to consuming fewer calories, and as a result for that, it increase in weight loss of a person. So in addition to yogurt's ability to help strengthen and build muscles and control appetite, it can also help consumers regulate digestion, which I mentioned earlier. So, how often you should eat yogurt? So, yogurt should also be consumed in a moderation. So, a balanced diet with a variety of healthy foods is needed for a person good health.
So, other applications and use of eating yogurt. So, yogurt is used for treating and preventing vaginal yeast and bacteria infections and preventing urinary tract infections. Some people use yogurt for lactose intolerance and for eating high cholesterol and for Helicobacter pylori infections that can cause stomach ulcers. And it is also used for constipation, high levels of cholesterol or other fats like lipids in the blood, hyperlipidemia, and the inability to properly digest the sugar lactose or
as we know, lactose intolerance. And it is a probiotic. Yogurt has been promoted to restore the GL flora after systemic antibiotic therapy and to alleviate anal pruritus, athus ulcers, and canker sores. The large number of bacteria in active yogurt contains about 125 millions of L. bulgaricus and 125 million of S. thermophilus, may hasten colonization in the colon, thereby removing the reservoir of yeast infections more than 3 decades ago. Bacterial replacement therapy with live culture was found to have no established value in the prevention or treatment of such disorders. Yogurt possesses intrinsic bacterial activity, probably largely because of its lactic acid content. Lactic acid has demonstrated bactericidal activity against some organisms, but it is probably not the only factor in eliminating bacteria. And it also cardiovascular and cholesterol reduction effects. Fat loss and weight loss has been demonstrated with the use of yogurt. Enhanced calcium intake was proposed as a mechanism for this effect. Older studies have demonstrated a cholesterol lowering effect with yogurt. Surveys suggest yogurt has a protective effect against coronary heart disease and elevate blood pressure, and it also has anti-cancer effects. So yogurt may also have some anti-cancer properties. Yogurt has a protective effect against some cancers in laboratory experiments, but convincing human data are not available.
And this is our references. Thank you for listening.